This map is an aerial photograph of Belfast city centre, specifically the parts concerning the Thames Street station that I have already proposed. If you notice the red triangle there. Now, this map was provided by Circle Line BT, so full credit for that goes to him. I'll point out in my first video that was taken on this railway. The second video was taken from Victoria Square, looking north. And then the third video was taken there at Thames Street, looking again north on the ground level. So that there would be the Royal Mail building. But prior to the vacation of the Royal Mail building by the Royal Mail, the proposed station would have been there in that car park. Now, the current system for the city centre is either that people get off at Yorkgate, which is up to the north there. It's the southern tip of North Belfast. And if you get off there and, for example, you want to get over to the SSE Arena on the east side of the river, you have to walk all the way down to here and then cross over, and then you can go up. Now, there's a couple of ways around that. One is we could get a footbridge there, and that would have to be high enough that it wouldn't interrupt any boats, whatever, trying to get up to the dock there. But at least that would make the far side of the river a bit more accessible, rather than making people go all the way down. Now, another option is to add on, add on an extra line, if you see the green line there, and at the moment you can see just in that corner there is where the current Titanic station is. Now, what we can do then is we can move the Titanic station to there, or possibly there at that corner where the current line is currently exists, and that would be served. And then also, if there is a new line added along as part of the Circle Line, which would mean that people going via Yorkgate and Thames Street could then travel all the way along to the Titanic Quarter, the new Titanic Quarter stop, which would be there, and then travel all the way out to the George Best Airport, which currently does not have a stop. Long story. It used to, and then they moved the passenger terminal, and they did not build a new railway stop to service that new passenger terminal. So it's a real pain in the hindquarters. Anyway, so the idea is to move the Titanic Quarter stop a few hundred yards over there in the westerly direction, and then to move the George Best, the former George Best stop, a few hundred yards in the opposite direction to the east. And that is going to be creating a small gap. And what you do then is you reopen the old Victoria Park stop, which would have to be rebuilt from scratch because it's been removed now completely. But it used to be there, so there's no reason it shouldn't be rebuilt. And then that will fill the gap. So that's the plan. And basically the bottom line is that Belfast, which should be all of Northern Ireland, but basically, yes, Northern Ireland should have a bunch of these small stops at places like, even in Belfast, Tomb Street and Victoria Park, and the Titanic quarter stop should be near the actual Titanic quarter and not a quarter of a mile away. And the George Best airport passenger stop should be at the passenger terminal and not at the cargo terminal as it currently is. So that's what we need.